Some people say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but in my life I've come to realize you can't tell who a person is just by a photo. The flash of the camera in my hands went off, the screen on the back showing me a preview of my shot. Clicking the silver button on the top of the device again, I stared at the screen as it now showed me the real-time image in front of me. Players ran from one end of the court to the other, sweat dripping down their bodies to soak their uniforms. Reid Williams, the MVP 4 years in a row and captain of the high school's basketball team, ran with the orange ball in front of him, bouncing between the polished floor in his hand. His golden locks hung in sweaty strands, curling at the ends, and yet, even as the game pushed on into overtime, he still looked like the pretty boy he was. Rich, good-looking, with an adorable dimple in his left cheek. It was no mystery why girls basically draped themselves on him. I pushed the thoughts away, snapping another picture. I liked Reid Williams, but I also hated him more than anyone. The only reason he even knew my name was because I was the editor of the yearbook, so everyone knew my name, mostly for their own benefit. The knowledge that my longtime crush was such a there was no other words I could use to describe him other than pretty boy. And that's what I like to call him, pretty boy. His golden locks, crystal blue eyes, defined features, and toned muscles. Fuck me, I thought, my gaze flickering back and forth around me as I attempted to hide the slight bulge I now had in my jeans. The buzzer went off, signaling the end of the game, and I glanced at the board as cheers erupted around me. 37-12. We won. The two teams shook hands in the center of the court before shrugging off to the locker rooms. I stood with the crowd, letting the people sweep me away into the hall, where parents and friends lined the walls to congratulate the players. Tugging on the hem of my gray beanie, one hand cupping my camera to me, I weaved through the crowd and out the double metal doors. Cold air hit me like a slap to the face, instantly cooling my heated skin. It was so hot in there. I sat on the cement ledge of the front steps, watching the headlights of cars as they drove away into the night. My mother was supposed to be picking me up, but I couldn't see her car anywhere. "Hey, Kason, right?" a voice asked, that mix of deep and soft oh so familiar to my ears. I tugged on the ends of my straightened brown hair as he sat down on the ledge beside me, his gym bag taking residence on his other side. Keeping my head down and eyes on my camera, I nodded. "Did you get some good shots?" he continued, moving his arm up to, I suspect, running his hand through his blond hair. I looked up and stared at him, my eyebrows scrunched together in confusion. What is he doing? I wondered, watching as he tossed me a playful smile. "I guess," I finally answered, trying to look down at my camera again. "Can I see?" Without waiting for an answer, my camera was suddenly grabbed out of my hands, and I gasped. Whipping my head up to look at Reid, I stared in stunned silence as he pressed a random button. Luckily for him, it was the power button. I watched as the screen on the back lit up. Pressing another random button, the flash went off and the picture appeared on the screen, causing his face to light up in a grin. "Cool." Before I could react, he had the camera turned to me, the flashing going off and blinded me. I groaned and rubbed my eyes, the snap of yet another picture being taken reaching my ears. Just as I looked up to glare at the idiot, another flash caused colored dots to appear in my vision. "Give me that," I growled, reaching with one hand for the camera while I rubbed my eyes with the other. "No!" He raised the black device above his head and smirked when I widened my eyes at the realization I couldn't reach it. He was 4 frickin' inches taller than me, meaning if I stretched, I still wouldn't even brush it, let alone grab my most prized possession. I glared at Reid, his smirk turning into a sly smile. "Come on, you're always behind the camera. One real picture and you can have it back. Promise." "Fine," I grumbled, turning my head away to stare at my shoes. Reid jumped down, landed on his feet like it was nothing, even though the ledge was 4.5 feet off the ground. He stood in front of me, camera raised to his face, flash aimed at me, and I gazed dryly at him. He frowned and moved the camera to give me a disapproving look. "A real picture, Kason, or no camera," he threatened, shaking his head. Calling him every bad name I could think of, in my head. I forced a smile and stared straight ahead. He continued his frown, cocking his head to the side as he ran a hand through his hair in thought. Snapping his fingers, he suddenly grinned. I didn't like the looks of this. He looped the camera's strap around his neck and bent his arms like he was about to do the chicken dance. What's he doing? "Ooh, ooh, ooh," he gibbered, jumping around and scratching under his armpits. I laughed, shaking my head. You are so weird, I told him, moving my hands to grip the edge of the ledge so I didn't fall. He stopped, his eyes on me as a grin spread across his face. I could feel the few people who were still spilling out of the school glance at us, but I couldn't focus on them as suddenly Reid was opening his mouth. And you're cute, he replied, the grin dropping into a content smile. I blushed and looked down, a shy smile on my lips. My brown hair hung in my gray eyes, and I bit my lips as I looked up through my lashes at Reid. Lifting the camera to his face, he snapped the shot, the flash going off. He looked pleased with the picture as he stared at it, before he moved closer. Within seconds, he was standing between my legs, his head level with my chest as he gazed up at me. Reid, I began, blushing hard when the hand not holding the camera came to rest on my cheek. Before I could finish saying his name, he had pulled me down gently by my hair, forcing me to bend down while he tiptoed to reach my lips. His tongue swept across my lower lip before sneaking its way inside. He traced each of my front teeth, my jaw shut as I struggled to comprehend what was happening. Is Reid Williams, star basketball player, kissing me? Is he gay? Is this a joke? Reid, shh. He shushed me, eyes closed and lips grazing mine. Just let me remember this moment. A flash went off, making me realize he was holding the camera up with his free hand, aiming it at us. Without another word, he handed me the camera, grabbed his bag, and left. I was stunned, my body frozen to the spot. Did that just happen? I glanced at Reed's car as he pulled out of the parking lot, confused as to why he would kiss me and leave. Looking around, I noticed everyone else had already left the parking lot, empty all other cars. Remembering the camera in my hands, I turned it around and looked at the screen. Our faces were a hair's width apart, his eyes closed and his hand tangled in my hair. I was looking down at him, my gray eyes just staring at his peaceful face, with my cheeks flushed and my lips moistened. My hands were gripping at the edge, my body leaning toward him without my knowledge. It was like we were in our own little world, just us two. Everything about it was magical. I was wrong. So wrong. A picture was worth more than 1,000 words, because in that frame was a captured memory, a memory of my first kiss and the boy who stole it. Because in that frame was a captured memory, a memory of my first kiss and the boy who stole it.